Hi, and most welcome to this session. My name is Susann Edvardsson, and I work as insurance lead in CGI Sweden. In this session, CGI's Global Insurance Lead, Sal Dell'Anno, will share insights from our interviews with leaders from insurance companies around the world on topics such as AI, cloud, and cybersecurity. Over to you, Sal.
Thank you, Suzanne. And I'm glad to be here to share what we found this year. Basically, we conduct this annually, the CGI Voice of our clients. It's a comprehensive study created one-on-one interviews between CGI leaders and business and IT executives to gather their perspective. Since 2018, we've done over 8,000 of these interviews, collecting 1 million data points with organizations representing 32 million employees and $400 billion of annual IT spend. We'll walk through the results of the 2023 VOC for insurance, which will cover both property and casualty and life and pension. Looking at the demographics, 143 interviews were held. That's a 15% increase year over year, and with a good regional spread. However, I just want to make one point. There's still some bias towards the European and P&C markets, which should be considered in the following analysis. Let's get started. When you look across the macro trends and compare the two subsectors, the overall top trend remains similar to last year, but with considerable jump in the importance of climate change across both sectors. Digital acceleration remains top of the agenda for both P&C and life and pension insurers. But as we review the data, we will see some differences in what this means in terms of strategic approach across the sectors. Social demographic changes are high for both. However, unsurprisingly, this is higher for life and pension, where an aging population and the pressure on traditional pension models is an area of increasing concern for pension providers. But this also reflects the impact of an aging workforce and the challenge of attracting new talent into the market. This is a big concern for life and pension companies, where long-tail products create a greater legacy challenge for modernization and an increase in ongoing reliance on older staff members and skills, which we'll see again later in the analysis. Climate change impact is the biggest change across both markets as it comes into increasing focus for government regulators and investors. Insurers are increasingly viewing ESG and climate change action as part of their overall investment and risk strategy, analysis, and standard ways of working. For the life and pension market, this will be impacting their investment approach as investors look to decarbonize their investment portfolios, while the energy transition impacts on traditional stable investment portfolio will also have an impact. For P&C, this will be more of the new emerging risks impacts on the supply chain of their current insured clients. With the more advanced ESG reporting requirements being defined in Europe and the UK, the approach insurers are taking within these regions are a good indicator of the direction of travel for North American insurers. While supply chain and shifts in world economic order are in the minds of insurers, due to the local nature of most insurer supply chains, this will be less concerning compared to other industries. All right, so before drilling further into the implication of the macro trends, the progress and overall digital strategy for insurers provides additional important context when comparing it across its subsectors. While insurance is generally ahead of all industry as an average, P&C is seen to be accelerating, while life and pension is slowing this year. While slowing, though, L&P progress is a reflection of the organizations having completed the earlier digital front-end work, but are now likely hitting the more complex activities that will require a deeper integration into legacy systems, which may require legacy rip and replace, which are harder long-term projects, especially in life and pension. P&C insurers have already completed a lot of this work in previous years and have undertaken more legacy policy administration system replacements. And we will see they are now intending to increase the pace of modernization across other areas in a much higher level than life and pension. Looking at the first macro trend around technology acceleration, we can see that legacy systems are a definite constraint. This is reflected in the differences between digital leaders in life and pension compared to P&C insurers. Digital leaders are those clients that cited to seeing results from the digital transformation strategy compared to digital aspirants who are just building or launching their digital strategies. We believe that digital leaders are seeing a slowdown because they digitized what was easy and are now facing much more challenging issue of modernizing or replacing their legacy systems. Again, in the P&C market, digital leaders had to replace their core systems to meet customer expectations and are seeing the benefits of digitization. In life and pensions, our clients have tried to modernize without replacing the legacy systems. For example, using an easier or adding an easier user interface to their systems. And now they're reaching their limits of their digital transformation acceleration. Life and pension leaders will need to weigh the cost versus benefit of replacing their legacy systems in order to provide their clients the seamless customer experience they desire. This observation is also supported by the difference in expected pace of digital transformation between the P&C and life and pension respondents. While P&C insurers expect their modernization efforts to be increased considerably over the next 2 years, life and pension organizations will continue to lag considerably behind. This is also linked to the industry's view that legacy modernization will continue to be very challenging to the industry if it wants to achieve its modernization goals. To continue with the pace of digital modernization, this suggests that L&P insurers in particular will need more support from their service providers, experience in tackling complex data and platform modernization if their programs are to be successful. Another area of guidance and support insurers will need is on the apparent misalignment between the impact felt between business and IT leaders regarding legacy systems, as shown in the data. 44% of business leaders feel highly impacted compared to only 25% of IT leaders. This is likely to increase the frustration for both sides. This is a very interesting slide which highlights the misalignment between industry trends, business priorities, and IT priorities. Business leaders have a lower priority for cost reduction, while they are focused clearly on digital customer experience. However, IT leaders' top 2 priorities are both cost-related. We feel that this is an area of tension across the business and IT as they juggle to manage their priorities among major change programs. It's also an opportunity, right? So is there an opportunity to better align the organization to agree on and prioritize digital transformation efforts and really accelerate your digital transformation? Another macro trend is social demographic change. And this impact is definitely increasing. We can see that 78% of respondents are having a difficulty hiring IT talent. This is across industries, not specific to life insurance or P&C insurance, but because of the long tail products that we talked about in the life insurance space, there is an aging resource pool associated with maintaining those old legacy systems. And so this particular problem impacts insurers even more because that aging resource pool is either retiring or ready to leave, and the new talent or new employees don't want to work on old technology and old systems, right? So that creates a conundrum or a challenge for insurers to how do we maintain these aging systems when we don't have the right resources. And again, that's where a partner like CGI can absolutely help, right? Or other partners and service providers. Use of managed services providers is on the rise. So, based on everything we've learned so far and what we discussed regarding legacy systems and transformation, the expected demand for managed services across, both business process outsourcing and IT services is going to go up in the next 3 years, right? For IT applications, it's up from 44% to 52%. This tends to indicate that the hard work is now moving from cloud modernization to application modernization. This trend indicates that life and pension insurance organizations will definitely be looking to third parties to help with the priorities of reducing operational costs and also to address talent shortages. Digital leaders drive higher automation. We definitely see that, and with the advances of ChatGPT and large language model, we only see this accelerating and exploding. We feel that digital leaders, from what we see across the voice of the customer feedback, is that they're more apt to experiment with artificial intelligence and have already done a lot of the simple automation and robotic process automation, and are open to really doing more with AI. So this is definitely an opportunity we see going forward. This also offers a potential opportunity for not digital leaders, but digital aspirants to leapfrog, right? So in other words, they're lagging behind, but with the advent of AI tools, there's an opportunity for them to really jump ahead and close the gap that digital leaders have right now, right? So finally, all of this brings us to 5 recommendations for achieving your top priorities. Firstly, start with ensuring that the business and IT are talking the same language. Leaders must align on priorities and have a common understanding of both the opportunities and challenges on delivering digital customer experience, while effectively dealing with the remaining complex legacy platforms in place and reducing cost. Next, continuing to mask legacy systems will only take organizations so far, and to deliver scalable, seamless digital experiences, existing legacy estates will need to be modernized or replaced. There's really no way around it. So there's going to have to be that ROI versus cost versus benefit analysis to really understand what will it take to replace these legacy and aging systems. Thirdly, insurers have the opportunity to help their teams become superhuman, right? And what we mean by that is how can we leverage AI to really enable and accelerate our teams on the ground when it comes to underwriting claims and servicing their client. We feel that the new technologies are definitely there to accelerate these teams. And at the same time, the utilization of these new technology can definitely attract talent and younger workers from the workforce, because of the attractiveness of the new and greatest tools and technologies out there. Number 4 here, by thinking RegOps, what we mean by that is how do you operationalize or create a factory model around regulations? Most companies have done the same thing around development operations. I think we feel that the same is needed for regulations, right? In other words, regulations are coming fast and furious. They're not going to slow down. There's going to be more of them. So there has to be a structured factory model that can deal with this oncoming onslaught of regulations on a regular basis. And we feel that that factory model is something insurers should focus on. And then finally, this is a catch-all type of recommendation. Really leverage your partners as strategic partners and strategic enablers. If we can come together and really understand your direction or your strategy and where you're trying to go and what sort of customers you're trying to go after, we feel that we can help with the right technologies, the right resource challenges, helping you with the legacy systems, the utilization of nearshore, offshore, right shoring opportunities. You're going to have to rely more on your partners because just the talent is just not out there, right? Everybody is struggling or bidding on the same talent out there, and it's going to get even more challenging. So leverage your partners. And that's about it, Suzanne.
Thank you very much. Very interesting findings and recommendations. I have a few questions. We see that many of the insurance companies in the Nordics already are working agile and have implemented DevOps in their organizations. What trends have you noticed from the Voice of a Client's results?
Well, as stated earlier, right, there's a big focus and pressure to modernize and streamline their organization. For example, straight-through processing is something that's critical, right? How do we really take these claims from beginning to end in the shortest amount of time? So there's a lot of focus on really streamlining your processes, your tools, your resources from a straight-through processing perspective.
I see. I also have another question. So in the Nordics, we see a new trend among young people not buying insurance the traditional way. Young people are used to consuming services seamlessly. What, in your opinion, must be done to catch them and not lose these future customers?
That's an interesting question. It's something that all geographies are struggling with to a certain extent. You need to meet these younger consumers where they live and where they play, right? And what do I mean by that? A lot of them have grown up with cell phones. That's all they live on, and to a certain extent, you have to meet them there to do business. One example with one of our clients, we developed a WhatsApp quoting application for a large insurer, and basically very quickly through the WhatsApp application you can submit a request for insurance. So that's a small example, but I think really meeting them where they live on a day-to-day basis is going to be critical.
Yeah, thanks. In the Nordics, we see that many insurance companies have difficulty attracting new talent. Well-educated young people do not want to work with repetitive tasks. They want to belong to a modern employer that uses modern technology. Can you say anything about these trends?
That's definitely a trend we see out there across industries, not just insurance, but it might be more prevalent in insurance because of the nature of the work or the nature of the legacy systems in place to deal with day-to-day operations. We think that, again, through automation, we can help our clients get rid of repetitive, non-value-added work, right? And really freeing up some of these employees to work on more creative endeavors. So that's one approach. The other approach, again, we mentioned it earlier, with the advent of AI tools and technologies, we think there's definitely an opportunity for AI to take over more of this repetitive, boring work and really free up our employees to do more exciting jobs.
Speaking of that, where do you see the use of AI in the industry?
Well, here at CGI, we're taking a very cautious and pragmatic approach to AI with our clients. There's a lot of things that have to happen for AI to be successful. First of all, your data has to be clean and structured, because if it's not, garbage in, garbage out. So we need, we tend to work with our customers really to look at the data they have and then orchestrate that data to work with large language models or ChatGPTs. As far as actual pieces of the processes where AI can be applied, from a customer service perspective, that's a no-brainer. We feel that's where a lot of companies are going to experiment first, but then we see things as far as fraud analytics in the claims process, the underwriting process, marketing and customer acquisition, and so on, right? But I think being cautious and coming up with a strategy with your partner regarding where to start and how to start and make sure that the data is clean and secure, that's where most companies are beginning to take a look at AI.
Yeah, sounds wise. Thank you. Do you have a last recommendation or insight that you want to share with us?
Again, this data is telling, right, regarding what the industry is doing and where the industry is going. Hyper-personalization, so really understanding your end user customer, how they want to do business, what products they want to buy, want to see, offer to them. That's going to be the that's going to be the challenge. That's going to be where people should focus and where companies should focus. So I think really having the ability to understand your end user and what sort of real-time products and services that can be offered is going to be the end goal.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you, Sal, so much for this session and for sharing the global insights with the insurance industry.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Yeah, thank you all for attending this session.
Thank you.